Filibuster. Filibuster. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the February 4th, 2026 Wednesday edition. I am Scott Leisure. That's right. You got it. Another week of your favorite weekly podcast. We survived each and every one of the 56 days of January 2026. How did we do that? Just one day at a time, right? And also understanding that there is a lot of things, especially in today's world, out of our control. I also have to have my own back too, right? Scott, what does that look like? Having my own back, I think, starts with understanding who I am. What are my strengths and weaknesses? How do I react to things? My emotions, my thoughts, and my values. When I can better understand myself, I can better identify practices, habits, and routines that can help bring my entire being full circle, day by day, and sometimes right in the present moment. Is everyone following along? Damn. 3 minutes in, and Scott has already made my day better. The best part is that the inner Wednesday edition circle community has already made my Wednesday better too. Amen for Wednesday, and amen for having your own back. Another thing to practice when it comes to having your own back is to do some research and have a good understanding of whatever it is, and be able to understand how it might or might not affect you. I think what I'm trying to say is sometimes it's best to think things through. Think things through. Too many people run with their emotions and run with their very first impulse. Too many people give in to their emotional triggers in all different areas of their lives. I'm not wrong. It can really play havoc on all three areas of our health: emotional, spiritual, and physical, especially when we place our actions ahead of our thoughts. Now, I'm all for people standing up for what they believe. I think that is preached enough here on Wednesday edition. Stay vigilant, right? I feel that everyone has a right to live their life. You do you. As long as we are doing this without being destructive or putting our lives or other people's lives in danger or breaking the law. I feel like we've been having this discussion every week on Wednesday edition. I really don't think some of you are actually watching Wednesday edition. The question I asked a couple of weeks ago was, what happened to the sit-ins and the free love hippies and liberals of the 60s and 70s? I feel completely safe and confident in making this next statement. I think you have a better chance of avoiding conflict, getting bear sprayed, getting taken down, or even getting shot, singing inside of a Target to make your statement, than agitating federal agents. Now, I've known a lot of cops, and I've known a lot of military over the years. It takes a special breed of person to work in these occupations. We all know there are good cops. We all know there are bad cops. But one thing that cops have to possess is the ability to make snap decisions in very volatile conditions, often with loaded weapons, and oftentimes with people that have zero regard for life and have no problem pulling a trigger. I think it's safe to say that a lot of cops and military have a part of their makeup that is a little crazy, a little unhinged. You have to, right? So it's probably not a good idea to go out of your way to agitate them. A brief recap, okay? Living in the present, having your own back, having a singing sit in at a target, acceptable protest etiquette. Destruction of property, non peaceful demonstrations, and agitating federal agents, bad protest etiquette. Are we clear? Etiquette. You might not agree with me, and that's okay. I'm not going to agree with everything everyone else does either. I agree that it's perfectly okay to march, carry signs, chant, sing, all of that hippie shit. If you want to walk out of class or work or close your doors for the day, that's okay. You do you, right? I heard a story on Friday, National Walkout Day or whatever it was called, right? A guy I know was in line at 7-Eleven. Now, the person in front of him was telling the cashier that her 13-year-old kid, his teacher, told him he would get extra credit by sending her a picture of him at the walkout. I can't make this shit up. And I can't be the only one that finds that a little disturbing and maybe a little fucked up, am I? I send my kid to school for an education, not to have agendas pushed on my kid. I also think every Gen Xer that is listening would agree when I say that back in the day, we didn't have to find a reason to walk out of class. We just didn't go. Amen for freedom of expression and freedom to peacefully assemble. And that goes for churches too. I, Scott Leisure, try to stand up for my beliefs too. I like to stand up for things I feel are the American way, like keeping cash alive. Cash Friday is in 2 days. On Friday, get your cash out of the ATM and this weekend find a local business or a local artist and buy some of their goods using cash. Maybe some of you protesters could commission a local artist to create some nifty signs. Isn't that also one of the goals at the protests, to have the best sign? Help cash remain king. The approval rating rose from a 150 2 weeks ago to something like a 170 last week. Hey, we gave our best, and that is the only true approval we need. Give your best, my friends. The next time you're at the Target protest singing, sing the loudest and the proudest, right? I approve. I approve. I also approve of the Great American Recovery Initiative. Hey, Scott, tell me more. We have discussed the fact that Wednesday Edition is not a recovery podcast, but as a member of the recovery community, the topic comes up. We talked about this guy a couple of weeks ago, our guy, RFK, brain worm and all. On January 29th, the Trump-Vance administration released an executive order to coordinate the federal government response to the substance use and addiction crisis. Alcoholics. The Great American Recovery Initiative will bring together federal, state, local, and private sector resources to support addiction recovery, treatment, and prevention. The initiative prioritizes 3 goals. We all know how much I like goals. Number 1, preventing addiction. Number 2, prioritizing treatment. Number 3, celebrating recovery. Amen for solutions. I've heard some crazy AA stories, but I've never heard of anyone getting pepper sprayed or shot at an AA meeting. Politics and social issues are outside issues in AA. So in the past month, RFK has flipped the food pyramid and also set a course for some better recovery tools in this country. Well done, RFK. A perfect example of someone waking up each day, living in the moment, and from his heart and with integrity is giving his best. We at Wednesday Edition greatly approve of RFK. Big Zen guy. But nicotine doesn't cause cancer, right? Do you know what does cause cancer though? Plutonium 239. If you missed it somewhere along the line, Wednesday Edition is based out of Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City. From the 1950s through the late 1980s, there was a nuclear weapons plant northwest of Denver called Rocky Flats. They produced nuclear weapon triggers. Now, there were fires, there were leaking waste barrels, and wind-blown dust from contaminated soil. This led to increased risk of lung, liver, bone, and in some studies, thyroid cancers for a lot of people that worked out there. Between 1950 and 1989, there were 40,000 people that worked there. Now, a lot of you out there are thinking to yourself, Scott, that sounds dangerous and potentially bad for the surrounding environment. People, it's okay. When the plant closed and they tore everything down, they also decontaminated everything. All of the plutonium and radiation that had spilled, seeped, leaked, bubbled into the soil and the surrounding ecosystem was gone. Good as new. Nothing to worry about. In fact, the cleanup went so well that everyone felt good enough to dig up a bunch of the soil to build a ton of houses. What could go wrong? Right? I mean, it must be safe if there's a national wildlife reserve there, right? So they put up new signs the other day at the wildlife reserve informing visitors that you may be exposed to radioactive material. Yeah, no shit. We all know this. That is why you don't eat any of the fish out of nearby Stanley Lake. I've even seen the Simpsons episode with the three-eyed fish. If you get a chance while you are on YouTube, catching up on past editions of Wednesday Edition, find a documentary or two about the history of Rocky Flats nuclear weapons plant in Colorado. Do some research, form some opinions, educate yourself, and have your own back, right? Don't just take the first thing you hear as fact, and understand that there might be people telling you what they want you to hear to help fuel their own agendas. Like that teacher bribing her kid to walk out of class. A teacher using extra credit to get her kid to walk out of class. Seriously, what the fuck? Plutonium, RFK, Alcoholics Anonymous, cash, peaceful demonstrations, and cops. The perfect Wednesday, right? We are all over the hump, right? Our objective each day is to create something with our day that benefits our own health. And in doing that, enables ourselves to maybe help someone else create something beneficial, substantial, and healthy with their own day. So at the end of the day, we can all lay our heads on our pillows and feel good, right? And we worry about Thursday when we wake up on Thursday. Amen for present thinking. Present thinking. The practice of engaging fully with the current moment, sensations, and tasks rather than dwelling on the past or future. This state of consciousness reduces anxiety and boosts productivity by filtering out distractions and reducing mindless, repetitive thinking. Send me your feedback, people. Message me with your own thoughts. Maybe I can even answer a question and help you maneuver a situation. Maybe you have a suggestion for a topic, or maybe you want to tell me where to stick it. But if you tell me that, it greatly reduces the chances of me wanting to give you a free t-shirt. Just saying. Keep cash alive, do some research, and Google these 3 things this week. Number 1, Google the Great American Recovery Initiative. By far and hands down, the most important topic we discussed this evening. Number 2, Google peaceful protests. Some of you are still unclear of the line between peaceful and non-peaceful, I feel. My opinion, my thoughts, again. my podcast. Number 3, Google present thinking, especially if this is something you struggle with. You never know. You might even find some strategies to help you. Strategies. Now, in the year 2026, more than ever, remember the price we pay for associating with the wrong people is enough reason for us to be stricter about who we keep in our circles, right? Form circles that will lessen your chances of being involved in any mayhem. Let's lighten things up as we near the end of this edition. Here we go. The top 5 songs from February 4th, 1988. Let's do this. Number 5, Dirty Laundry, Don Henley. I can't stand Don Henley, and I can't stand Eagles. Everyone knows it's just Eagles, right? Not the Eagles. The fact that Don Henley is the first song on tonight's list disgusts me so much that I don't even want to go in to the Don Henley story. I was really liking tonight's Wednesday edition too. 0 for 1. Number 4, You Can't Hurry Love, Phil Collins. Remake of a Supreme song. The guy turned 75 this past week. Amen for Phil Collins. 1 for 2. Number 3, Truly, Lionel Richie. Probably one of the worst Lionel Richie songs, right? 1 for 3. The number 2 song from February 4th, 1988, Down Under, Men at Work. You can't go wrong with Down Under. Has that song ever really let anyone down, ever? Can't you hear the thunder? You better run. You better take cover. 2 for 4. And the number 1 song from February 4th, 1983. Not 88. I said 88. It's 83, people. 1983. The number 1 song. Africa by Toto. He turned to me as if to say, hurry, boy, it's waiting there for you. All right. 3 for 5. A solid countdown except for Don flippin' Henley and that crappy Lionel Richie song. Live in the moment and have your own back this week, okay? Stand up for your beliefs. Peacefully practice some self-care and self-love. Peacefully get some cardio, get some collagen, drink some water, and don't get trafficked. Your chances of being trafficked, or pepper sprayed for that matter, lessen when you have enough water in your system and have a healthy heart rate. I think we had a really good edition of Wednesday edition tonight. We even learned that nicotine isn't cancerous. Nicotine. Wednesday edition. Every Wednesday. 5 p.m. Instagram, YouTube, and scottleisure.com. Subscribe to the YouTube. If you are already on the YouTube page, what's 1 or 2 more clicks, right? Thank you, amigos. Stay in your lanes and make it a good, healthy, productive week. Amen.